If you're tired of hustling, working hard year after year, feeling like you have to keep proving yourself, you have to keep working hard, you have to keep pushing to make progress and success, and you're just no longer available for that, but you don't quite know what to do instead, how to do it, I'm going to share an analogy today of what to do instead. I'm going to explain what to do instead if right now you are just tired of doing that. And essentially, what I'm going to describe is the difference between the old paradigm and the new paradigm. An analogy came through late last night about how to look at this in a really, really powerful way to see the difference between the old paradigm and the new paradigm. And I actually was going to film this last night, but it was getting really late. So I decided to wait till this morning, but I haven't even had my breakfast yet. I'm so excited to share this with you because I know when it lands, it's going to land. And that's what I love about analogies is that we can just see things in such a different way. I think you're going to love this. And I want to hear your comments on this one. I really do think you're going to love this. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the old paradigm and what we were taught. So then we can obviously compare it to how it's changing in the new paradigm. So if you can imagine in the old paradigm, what you were taught is, okay, you're on this journey of life, okay, or this journey of working towards a goal, like you're on a pathway, okay? And what the old paradigm taught you was to start walking along, taking steps, right? Walking along the path to get to your goal. And, you walk around and you're starting to walk towards a goal and you look around and you see other people. You see other people on the same journey, right? Because we're told this is how you create success. This is how you do it. So you look around and you see all these people and you're all walking in the same direction. It feels great. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm on track. This is amazing. So you start walking, you start taking steps, and maybe you even see progress. But what happens along the way is we have all these rules of what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do. So what we do along the way is we suppress our truth. We ignore what we really want. We ignore our instincts. We tone ourselves down. We pretend to be somebody different. All these things were taught in the old paradigm. But if you can imagine, every single time you suppress a part of you, what you're actually doing is picking up this tiny little bag of sand. Okay, this tiny little bag of sand. And it's not a huge bag, but it's a little bag of sand. And so when you first start suppressing yourself and ignoring your truth, it's not so hard. Like it's not such a big deal because you've been walking for a few years and you've seen some progress and, you've picked up some sand along the way, but, you're still moving along, chugging along. Here you go, right? Now, imagine you're doing this for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You've been picking up little sandbags the whole time. Because this is what we're taught. We're taught to suppress ourselves. We're taught to fit in. We're taught all these things. So although these sandbags, because they were so minimal at the beginning, after decades of continually pushing, hustling, working hard, and picking up sandbags that are just getting heavier and heavier and heavier every year, you get tired, you get exhausted, you get burned out. And then we also call it aging. Well, of course you're tired. You're aging. You're near the end of your career. You're whatever. Of course you're tired. That's just the way life is, right? That's what we're told. And yes, you may slow down a bit as you get older. It's totally possible. But how much of it is the fact that you've been walking this path, picking up sandbags the whole time? Okay. Now, the other damaging part of the way the old paradigm was taught is if you are walking, you know that if you stop walking, your progress will stop. Makes sense. If you're walking from A to B down a sidewalk, you know if you stop walking, you're not getting any closer to your destination. And this is also the hamster wheel. And even though you may know deep down, I need to rest, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I need to figure things out, you also know that if you stop walking, you're not getting any further ahead because that's what the old paradigm has taught us, all of us. And this is why it is so hard. I mean, you can see that you're walking along this path, picking up sandbags, knowing you can't really stop. This is the grind. This is the hustle. This is the never really getting to your goal because The closer you get to it, the more tired you get, the more you have to stop and take breaks and put those bags down for a while and just have a rest. And then you feel like you start slipping backwards. That's the old paradigm. It's not good for the human spirit. It's not good for humans. It's not good for our soul. It's not how we're meant to operate. But understand, this is just a taught system. It's not actually the truth of how reality works. Okay. So now I want to talk about the new paradigm. So this is where it gets more exciting. So, as I was sharing the old paradigm, it does sound damn depressing, and it is. I'm sure you can recognize this. This is not a great way to live, right? But the new paradigm is so different. So now imagine you are taking a 5-hour road trip. Okay, you have to go by car somewhere. And someone came up to you and said, hey, you've got a choice of 2 vehicles. You could take a 1990 Toyota Corolla, or you could take a brand new Ferrari. Which one would you pick? Well, if you're like me, you'd pick the Ferrari. I think most people would. And so you ask yourself, well, why? Probably a few reasons. Probably more comfortable, better sound system, smoother ride, whatever. But there's also a part of this. The Ferrari has way more power. Way more power. So when you're going up the big hill, and it's so funny because I live in British Columbia, and I'm thinking about this one road called the Coquihalla. If you live in BC, you know what I'm talking about. It's this long, never-ending hill that goes on forever when you go into the interior. Which vehicle would you rather be in? The more powerful? Because in a Ferrari, you just touch that gas and it goes, it moves. The Corolla, on the other hand, really doesn't have much power at all. And you've probably got your foot to the ground on the accelerator and it's barely moving. And that engine is working so hard. It is working so hard. And you're probably thinking at some point, do I need to pull over and let this engine cool down when you're going up that big hill? Do I actually need to let it cool down? It's working so hard. The Ferrari, it's barely broke a sweat. It's barely done anything. You've barely even opened it up. It's like dying to go. It's got all this let's go, right? And it just wants to move. It wants to move forward. It has this momentum. It has this propulsion. And it's simply because it has so much power. The old paradigm taught you to suppress your power. Well, it taught you actually don't have any power. The reason why the old paradigm is so hard is because it's all your energy. You're suppressing your power. Every time you suppress who you really are, what you're actually doing is suppressing all your power. And so you don't have any momentum. You can't take your foot off the gas ever because you have no ability to coast. You just don't. And your engine, you get exhausted. Your engine gets exhausted because you have to keep your foot down full throttle. Constantly. There's no give. This is the difference between the old paradigm and the new paradigm. The new paradigm, and this is why I will keep banging the drum about reclaiming your power. We don't realize, I didn't realize this years ago, I realize it now, how much energy not only it takes to suppress your power, how much you are having to work hard to suppress who you really are. It takes so much energy. We're so conditioned to it, we don't even see it anymore, right? But not only that, how much easier it would be because this power is meant to be used by you. It's this whole model of power over is really authority. It's not power, it's authority. People have authority, not power. Power is not something, true power can never really be given to somebody. It has to be something you claim within yourself, okay? When you unleash your power and you stop trying to fit in, stop performing, stop all the shoulds, stop all the everything. And I don't suggest you do it all at once, okay? It doesn't tend to go well because you don't want to switch too fast from the old to the new. It's a shock to your system, right? There's ways to do this. And I've got my masterclass, Reclaim Your Power, for this reason, because it teaches you how to do this. But when you start unleashing this, what you start to realize is the reason why everybody says, well, you don't have to keep proving yourself and you don't want to keep hustling. You shouldn't have to do all those things. It's because it's the truth. Because when you're in the new paradigm, the only way to get to the new paradigm and operate within the new paradigm is by unleashing your power. It's not destructive. It's not damaging. It's not hurting somebody else. I mean, providing you're obviously working from a higher consciousness level, but this is a lot of the programming we're taught. Power is dangerous. Authority over people is dangerous when it's not coming from a high consciousness and an evolved person. That's not power, it's authority, it's control, it's dominance. This is your internal power coming through you. So when you're on that road, it's not about output all the time. Of course, you have to take steps. The same thing as when you're in the car. You don't just visualize yourself driving on the road in the Ferrari. No, you got to get in the car. You got to make sure it's got fuel. You do all these things still. But it takes much less effort because you now have power creating momentum. You can take your foot off the gas in a Ferrari, and if you've been going a little bit of speed, it's going to keep gliding. It's going to keep gliding on that road. You don't have to keep your foot down. This is the new paradigm. But the only way to get from the old paradigm to the new paradigm is to reclaim your power. And this, I will keep saying this over and over and over again, to normalize power. It's not something bad. It's not something awful. It is what you need to claim to actually operate within this new paradigm. So I'm going to put the link down, as I mentioned, to my masterclass, Reclaim Your Power. I go in step by step on actually how to do this. And I highly recommend it. Honestly, I do. This is the answer. This is the answer moving forward. If you want to have a life you love and also enjoy the journey. Like, it sounds corny and I get it, but think about the ride in a Ferrari versus always having to walk. And I'm not saying, like, it's just the ability to just glide for a bit. That's what life's about. We're not meant to just be this hustle. We are meant to enjoy the journey. And the only way we can truly enjoy the journey is when we allow our power to glide us forward. Then we take action and we glide some more. That's the new paradigm. And I am so here for it. I want to hear down below. Are you here for it? Like, let me know. It's here. It's here and it's available to us. All right, beautiful soul. I'm going to go eat my breakfast now. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you find it super valuable. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.